Well, we're back in the kitchen with Chef John Haas from Bravo Cucina Italiana in ABQ Uptown, one of my favorite places to go. And joining us now is also Fred Schaller, who's the general manager of Bravo. Can we say Bravo and abbreviate? Or would you like to say the whole thing? Bravo Cucina Italiana.
Bravo's good.
Okay, good.
Bravo's pretty good.
I like saying it with a lot of attitude, too. Well, while Chef John makes his Chianti Braised Beef Ravioli with the roasted the sweet potato smells so good, by the way, and the pumpkin creme brulee, Fred is going to tell us a little bit about the restaurant, which I happen to frequent myself.
Yes. Yeah, we've seen you there many times. The restaurant actually this time of the year is great for us. We've got quite a few parties that are coming in right now, and we're featuring our one of our menus right now, which is featuring the creme brulee. That we do a couple different flavors of creme brulee. We're doing pumpkin, and we're also doing the eggnog this year too.
So eggnog flavored creme brulee.
Yeah. Oh, it's excellent.
How fun for the holidays.
Yeah. So it's been really good. We're also we've got a lot of parties that have been booking up. We got a little room left for the rest of the year, but
well, on that regard, let me ask you: if you do want to bring in a big party, what do you recommend as far as time ahead notice? You know, the notice that you'd like.
Well, we've had people booking since August, actually. Okay. So it's right now we still got some room open. We've had a few cancellations, but we've got some room open. So they can still call now, and we can still book up till Christmas Eve. Perfect. So we've still got some available space in our banquet facility, and we've also been doing a lot of we've got a lot of parties that we've been doing at people's homes and also at offices.
Oh, good. Yeah, catering is always good. And now if somebody wants to try to make this at home, tell us a little bit about what the process is.
You know, it's pretty simple, actually. The first thing we're going to start out doing, we're going to make the creme brulee mix. Okay. Then we'll go to the beef ravioli, and then we'll finish off the creme brulee here in a little bit.
Okay, that's good.
So the first thing we did is we brought our milk and our cream up to a simmer. Okay. Just to get it warm. We're going to mix it in with our egg yolks and our sugar. Oh. What this does is the sugar helps temper the egg yolks, so when you add the cream in, it won't turn into scrambled eggs. So it keeps it from getting too hot.
I never knew that little trick.
So you just kind of mix this in like this.
Just whisk it while you go?
You're going to add a little bit, and then you'll let it kind of cool down a little bit because the yolks are cold and the sugar's, room temperature.
Interesting,
So we'll add that, and then we'll go with a little bit more.
See, the things that are second nature to a chef, right, are not to us. So those are the little tips that
these
really help.
These are the things that help out, especially for like a holiday dinner. Creme brulees are great because you can make them the day before. You can let them cool down. The day of, you got family over, friends over. You can just whip them in the oven, finish them off, and you're done. So
what's the actual cook time from start to finish?
For the creme brulees, they'll take about 45 to 60 minutes, depending on your oven. Okay. And also the temperature, whether you're using a convection oven or a regular one. Got it. And then after they're done, they take about 4 hours to 24 hours to cool down. You can save them for up to a day, almost even 2 days ahead if you want. Then you're just going to go ahead and finish them off with the sugar. You can put them in your broiler or use a torch to finish them up.
You know what I really like about that?
What's that?
Not to interrupt you, but I love the fact that if, when you're preparing, especially for a holiday dinner, a lot of people coming over, timing is really tough. Yeah. So if you know that you can prepare something like that ahead of time and it doesn't ruin the taste or it doesn't ruin the presentation, that's really nice.
You can just get it done, and, it's a little less stress, one less thing to worry about the day. You've got everything else going on. So.
Absolutely. Okay, so you've whisked that up.
In here, we've got our egg yolks, the sugar, the cream, and a little bit of milk. Okay. We're going to add a little bit of nutmeg and some cinnamon. That just kind of goes well with the pumpkin flavor. This almost turns out to like a custardy pumpkin pie when you get done. And something else I've done with this is you can turn it into a great flan if you want. Put a little caramel on the bottom and then bake it like you would a flan, and it comes out really well. So we're going to add in 2 ounces of pumpkin mix. You can roast your own pumpkin and puree it if you want. You can also go ahead and buy some in the store, and it works out just fine. Yep.
It's still easy.
That's the less stressful way.
Just pumpkin puree.
So we just mix this up. You get kind of a nice spiced pumpkin smell out of it.
I was just going to say, it kind of reminds me of that pumpkin candle smell that you have.
Yeah, exactly. Except you can eat this, so it works out better. Okay. What we're going to do is go ahead and put a little bit of water here in our container. I've just got 4 creme brulee dishes in here.
And you want to make sure you have these dishes,
right?
That's
these work out great. You can use you can use glass ones too if you want. But porcelain works the best. They don't get as hot. And you want to put a little bit of water in your pan. We call this giving a water bath. It keeps
the pan.
Yep. What it does is it steams it a little bit first, and then also it's going to keep it from getting too hot. If you put it in a 350-degree oven, it's going to be 350 degrees. But water only goes up to 220 without boiling.
That's so interesting. I would never think to do that.
Yeah, so it'll help you from getting that kind of scrambled egg texture that ruins a custard.
Absolutely.
So you're just going to go ahead and ladle this in. Okay. And I always put the water in before I put the mix. The problem, if you put the water in afterwards, it might splash up and get in your creme brulee. Right. And then next thing you know, you've got kind of a watered down one that won't set up on you.
Very good advice. Very good advice.
We're just going to put this in.
This is really fun.
What I would do with this, after I get done with this, I would go ahead and wrap it with a little bit of plastic, and I'd put it in the oven.
Okay.
And you just kind of want to cook them until they'll have a little bit of jiggle to them, but they'll be set, and that's when you know that they're done. But they won't be really firm. If they're firm, they'll actually be overdone. So what I'd do with this is I would go ahead and wrap some plastic on this. I'd put it in the oven, and then I would set the timer and come back to it.
And then you'd put it in the oven at what?
At 350 degrees.
350.
And it'll take you about 45 to 60, like I said.
Fabulous. Okay.
So next thing, we'll move on to our beef ravioli.
Let's get to the Italian stuff.
Exactly. This is a great dish. What I really like about this is the way that the brown butter, and like the caramely brown butter, kind of plays off with the sweet potatoes. We use a little bit of vinegar to cut some of that sweetness out of the caramel.
Plain vinegar?
I use a champagne vinegar or aged white wine vinegar.
Okay.
I think that works out a lot better. Yeah, I would go with that. White vinegar can be a little bit harsh. This has a little softer flavor to it.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and get this warmed up. We'll brown this out till it gets, you'll almost think it's too dark. The tricky thing with brown butter is that it has a tendency to, there's like a 15-second window where it's perfect. And if you go over, it can almost taste burnt. And if it's under, it's not caramely enough.
So don't leave the stove. I mean,
yeah.
Monitor this
once you get this going, just kind of watch it. You know it's getting close when the foam starts to dissipate out of the butter, and that's when it's at the right time.
So when the foam dissipates, that's your key. That's your clue.
That's when it's nice and brown, but not burnt. If you get black butter, it'll taste really bitter, and
that'll spoil it, though.
Right. Your guests might not enjoy it as much, so you know.
And this one is one of our more popular dishes, especially this time of year.
Sure.
And for anybody making this at home, it's really about a 5-ingredient dish. Relatively simple to make. It's just really this technique of the butter. And everything else comes together. You'll see
it really
the chef
is.
put together.
I mean, all you have to do is, you can make your ravioli if you're feeling pretty ambitious. If you want, you can buy it to make it a quick dinner.
Right.
Other than roasting the sweet potatoes, which you could even do, in the morning, you could do the day ahead if you want.
You could roast those ahead of time.
Yep,
and
exactly.
You diced them, I see.
Yeah, we just dice them up, toss them a little olive oil, a little salt and pepper, roast them off. They'll take about 35 minutes at 350. And when you start to get a little bit of browning on the top, that's when you know they're done. You want them to be a little bit of texture on the outside, a little crunch, but not still soft in the center.
So outside crunch, inside soft.
Exactly.
Love it.
So then, but like you were saying, it's a quick meal. You can come in, you can get all this stuff from the grocery store, go home. You can do, your chicken stock, your heavy cream, your vinegar, your sage. I mean, it's very quick. It comes together fast.
And all of these recipes, of course, are on our website, so you'll be able to check them out at casa.com. Just go to the New Mexico Style page, and you'll see the recipe. And you'll notice that we have the address for Bravo Cucina Italiana. I have to say the whole thing. It's just more fun. At 2020 Louisiana Boulevard. And if you're looking, like I said, for today's recipe, you just have to go to the website. It's that simple. We'll even have a link to the segment so people can watch and kind of watch your process again. So let's before we go to break, just a couple little details, and then of course we come back and taste it.
You bet. So we're just gonna add this stuff. We're gonna add the sweet potatoes in. We'll deglaze it with a little bit of the champagne vinegar. We'll warm up our ravioli. We'll let that simmer down. We'll finish it with just a tablespoon of butter. And then we'll garnish off with some Reggiano cheese and some parsley. And that'll be it. And then we'll burn off our creme brulee and we'll enjoy. So.
And then you let me eat it?
Oh, of course, of course.
That's always my favorite part. Well, in just a moment, we will be back with both Fred and John to taste this amazing meal. Don't go away. Ooh, this looks good. So now the ravioli.